Bajaj Auto is infusing 7,200 crore rupees in reviving the KTM brand. This is one of the biggest investments that Bajaj Auto has made in many years. Why do you think this is so important for the group's future?
Well, fundamentally, Parikshit, while it may appear that a motorcycle is a motorcycle is a motorcycle, there are two worlds of motorcycles out there. There is one world of the volume brands, such as Honda, Yamaha, Enfield, TVS, Bajaj, etc. And this is roughly an industry size of 50 million vehicles. Of course, moped, scooters, step-through, motorcycles all put together. This is, let's say, the mass or the volume space. And then there is the more premium or lifestyle space. That's more dominated, I would say, by brands, Western brands, such as, let's say, KTM, Triumph, Ducati, BMW, Harley. These are the better known ones. And this is a annual industry size of a little under 1 million a year. So it's 50 million here, it's 1 million there. And quite frankly, these are very different businesses, different business models, obviously, because the scale is very different. The whole the levers of brand, technology, quality, cost, distribution work very differently in these two spaces. And we have always been of the belief the last 20 years that while the Bajaj brand is very appropriate, very competitive in the first world of 50 million vehicles, where we have a lot of headroom to grow because we are under 5 million in a industry size of 50 million worldwide. But however, I think we have the humility to understand that our brand is not going to carry over effectively in terms of pricing power, let's say, in the second world of the premium or the lifestyle products. And that's where the association with KTM and Triumph is really invaluable for us. And that's fundamentally the reason why it was necessary for Bajaj to step in when it became necessary because of this crisis that came upon KTM to keep this brand going, to keep this operation going, because even for us from a business point of view, it's a significant revenue and a significant contribution to our bottom line.
Right. That's an important statement, I'm sure, that investors would also be wanting to hear. Now that you've decided to invest so much money in the KTM brand, how would you like to now scale it up, considering that Bajaj Auto is now fully in the driver's seat with KTM?
Quite frankly, scale is not the most important thing for KTM, I think. I think, in this world of motorcycles, as I mentioned, the industry size is about 800,000 a year. Market shares don't move by much. The qualitative metrics are more important here. And I think, we've obviously been grappling with this issue for the last 6 months. We've had some very good meetings with our counterparts at KTM. Almost the entire senior management team was here last week for 2 days. And I can tell you that the roadmap ahead rests fundamentally on these two thoughts. First, we have to restore the brand. As unfortunately happens sometimes with success, you tend to diffuse the brand by extending it into too many categories, too many segments, even beyond the core segment. And the second thing that then leads to, the brand diffusion leads to, is this proliferation of SKUs that makes the business very complex, right from R&D to the dealer workshop. So we have to first, in my opinion, we have to restore the brand to the core. And from that will follow a great simplification of the operations, which will have a very salutary effect on the company. The second thing we have to do is to reset the cost. To put it very simply and bluntly, European manufacturing is dead. I think the auto industry, including the car industry, understands that. Now, they would have the political, social, and other compulsions why they cannot move everything out of Europe to somewhere in Asia to produce more competitively. But let me give you an example of Triumph. Mr. Blower moved 100% of Triumph production to Thailand over 15 years ago. Every single Triumph motorcycle that is made today is made either in Thailand and, of course, more recently in India. If Triumph can do this 15 years back, in principle, why not KTM? And I have never, or we have never shared this specifically before, but let me tell you that while KTM struggles in Europe, the KTMs that we make and export out of India to different parts of the world bring us a EBITDA margin of over 30%. And the main reason for that is the great cost competitiveness that India and the Indian supply chain and our excellent suppliers offer. So we have to reset the cost of KTM. We have to restore the brand. And if we are able to do this effectively, then I think KTM has a very bright future.
Right. That's an important point. What does this also mean in terms of revival of KTM exports?
KTM exports, well, before this disruption, you would know that our exports of KTM motorcycles worldwide were of the order of about 15,000 to 20,000 a month. As I said, very profitable. If I'm not in the Jan-Feb March quarter, this fell to zero, so it reduced progressively as they found themselves in trouble from the middle of last year. And in the first quarter of this calendar year, I think we exported nothing. In Q1, if I'm not wrong, we are back to 14,000 or so. So I would say the lower end of the normal. And I'm quite hopeful that as we move forward, for two reasons, we should do even better. One, because KTM is, step by step, every week getting stronger, which means dealers, distributors, etc. Things are normalizing. And secondly, perhaps you are aware that in terms of the new Duke, the new Adventure, the new Enduro, and Supermoto, we've just started up with several new products. So I think that will bring us additional business as well. So I think the short story is that KTM exports may well hit a new high, of course, subject to the Trump tariffs.
Subject to the Trump's tariffs. I would also like to ask you about the possibility of launching a twin-cylinder bike. I think you had teased this in an interview to us a few years ago. Mr. Bajaj, what's the status of that?
No, you are right. I mentioned it to you. In our industry, there is no maxim, no principle that is more true than this, that there is no replacement for displacement. So yes, we are working on such a motorcycle characterized by being bigger in displacement, by being a twin, and really having a lot of new technology, a lot of cutting edge stuff on it. Still work in process. I think still about a year or so away. It takes time, but certainly we will be out with that.
So this will be the biggest Bajaj Auto product till now, bigger than any of the KTM bikes, bigger than the Pulsars?
The biggest, the fastest, the sharpest, the smartest. Yeah, I think it will set a new benchmark.
In terms of strengthening measures to recover market share in the 125cc plus segment, how has that fared so far in Q1, and any more actions that we see?
Yeah, so I will be very candid in saying this, Parikshit, that on the one hand, I think we have done very good work as far as product is concerned with, as I just mentioned, KTMs. As you may be aware, in this month, we have launched the new Triumph Thruxton. Soon the Triumph Tracker will come to market, if I'm not wrong, by October or so. Great work's been done on the Chetak front, on the three-wheeler front, including the electric three-wheeler and the Riki, the e-rick. Having said that, we have also failed somewhere, and we should be, honest about that. And we have failed a little bit with the Pulsar. When you speak of the 125cc plus segment, I believe you are referring to our domestic motorcycle performance. And I think, Pulsar is a very, very strong brand. It's a, 15,000 crore brand for us annually. It's a brand that in the domestic market, even now, from 125 to 400cc clocks about 100,000 vehicles a month. So when the brand is fundamentally strong, the primary reason for it to lose some space, some traction in the marketplace, can only be that it's at the end of its life cycle, which is the case with the Pulsar. We need to see some new product in there, and I'm happy to share with you that starting October, that will happen in quite a significant way. And then every quarter, we have something exciting in the Pulsar brand for our customers. And I'm sure that, the little bit of share that we have lost, which we don't like at all, because Pulsar is really the mainstay of the company, especially in the domestic market. I'm sure it will come back quite quickly, because that's how, strong brands behave.
Mr. Bajaj, thank you very much for joining us on the program, giving us your overview of the industry right now, the tariff situation, and how Bajaj Auto is really rejigging its product lineup for the future.
Thank you, Parikshit.